And then it comes down to last night's performance, all the sacks, all that kind of stuff. Offensive lines take a minute to come together. Deshaun Watson was on the run last year, literally. He was getting slaughtered back there, right? Like, that's just what was happening.
He was sacked 6 times last night.
I understand. That's what I brought up. I just brought that up. But he wound up with 11 wins. They started doing some things. He wound up with 11 wins. And this is an improved on-paper offensive line. Tunsil is a stud. We know that. He's a baller, Stephen A., but especially with line play. It doesn't come together week 1. I believe by week 5 or 6, this line comes together. I believe Deshaun Watson will lead his team to the playoffs, and I believe once there, he is a quarterback you are going to want on your team. I'm going to say yes to this question.
Well, see, thank God that you finally answered the damn question because you was going all over the place. I was confused about where you were going. You brought up Jared Goff. You brought up another quarterback. You brought up Deshaun Watson's
Why are you worried
years
about what
at
I'm bringing
Clemson.
up? Make your argument.
The question was, you zip it. I listened to you. The fact of the matter is, the question was, at the end of this season, will Deshaun Watson eclipse Drew Brees? We didn't ask you about what you want. We asked you about whether or not Deshaun Watson was going to eclipse
I started my answer with
Drew
yes,
Brees.
and I ended it with yes.
That's the
and
question.
in the middle was the explanation.
I mean, my goodness, you're all over the damn place. I don't understand what you're saying. Here's the deal. Hell no, he ain't going to eclipse Drew Brees, all right? And as far as I'm concerned, last night was evidence of that. You saw Deshaun Watson come back in the fourth quarter. I saw him ball the way that he did. I saw him complete 66% of his passes. I also saw Drew Brees complete 74% of his passes. I saw Drew Brees in the clutch, needing 35 yards to put Lutz in field goal range, get exactly 35 yards on 3 receptions. Just finding a way to deliver the goods even at age 40. We keep talking about Tom Brady and that cliff you swore Tom Brady was on. How'd that work out for you? But there's another individual that's ignoring that cliff to some degree as well. And his name would happen to be Drew Brees, who's religiously throwing for over 4,800 yards per season, who continues to showcase his greatness on a weekly basis, season after season after season. When I look at Deshaun Watson, I'm looking at a 24-year-old stud who manages to find a way to win games. I have no doubt that the future is incredibly bright for him, and he's something special. But at the end of this season right here, I'm going to be looking at Deshaun Watson above Drew Brees. The only thing I'm going to be looking at is the fact that he doesn't have nearly as much dust on his birth certificate as Drew Brees has. That's about it. Drew Brees is Drew Brees. And last night he showed us why he is that dude, and he continues to be that dude. It's why I got New Orleans coming out of the NFC, not the Dallas Cowboys.
What did Deshaun Watson?
I mean, did you pick New Orleans? Did you pick New Orleans?
I did. Before I think New Orleans is the best team, top to bottom, and part of that is Drew Brees. This is not a knock against Drew Brees. This is a pro-Deshaun Watson argument. That's why I compared him to Jared Goff and some others, because it's not just that Deshaun Watson may put up numbers. He put up over 4,200 yards last year. He marvels at Drew Brees' consistency, right? Every year, 5,000 yards. But at the end of last season, even look at the NFC Championship game, the feeling we all have about Drew Brees was not demonstrated on the field late. And what did many of us say? Stephen, I believe you said this too. Like, Drew Brees did not look good at the end of that game. No one's perfect. It may not be his age, but he looked tired and he looked old at the end. And Deshaun Watson, he has growing pains, of course. Second-year player, went through a stretch in the middle of last year where he looked fatigued and all that stuff. He has that experience now. And he is a guy who you say there's some guys you believe in the clutch, who his teammates look like they want to play for, who have faith in their quarterback and he has faith in them. Deshaun Watson
and what do they look at Drew Brees as?
Deshaun Watson, I'm not arguing that against Drew Brees. I'm saying Deshaun Watson has that. And even in the face of all the sacks last year early, they wound up winning 11 games. What's the problem? Did they not win 11 games? Did they not win 11 games last year? And did they not improve the offensive line in the offseason?
Every time I bring up something about Drew Brees, you're like, I'm not arguing against Drew Brees.
Yeah.
But we are. Because the question is, will Deshaun Watson eclipse Drew Brees? That's
right,
the question.
But
I'm telling you, the answer is no. And by the way, Deshaun Watson, 24 years of age. Who was the guy being medically treated throughout yesterday's game? Who was that dude?
Who was the dude who got sacked?
I saw Drew Brees looking just fine. I saw Drew Brees looking just fine.
Who's the guy who got sacked 6 times? And the last
That's
one was
right.
on. And the last
That's
one
right.
was on Tunsil. That is why I'm focusing on offensive line play. They drafted 2 guys. They brought in a stud very recently, a couple weeks ago. Line play takes week after week after week in the regular season. It's not going to hit the ground running week 1. It's not like you just bring in a running back and he can run the ball.
Molly.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Stop the presses! Stop the! I'm shocked. I can't believe, Max. I apologize, Max. I didn't know. I didn't know that it's important for the offensive line to protect the damn quarterback. I'm sorry, Max. I'm sorry. I didn't get that. I thought
it's not.
It's like shadow.
You missed the
it's
point.
like shadow quarterback.
Even in being
so he just dropped it
sarcastic.
back to pass with no offensive line in front of him, right? He just dropped it back to pass with no offensive line.
Sarcastic, you are missing the point.
What does that have anything to do with anything?
No, wait.
The bottom line is
Back
the
up.
Houston Texans. We listen to you. I'll zip it. We listen to you. The
Back
fact
up.
is,
You
the
are missing the
Houston
point.
Texans are a suspect team. Their offensive line has been suspect. We knew that coming into the season. We knew that last year. That's another reason why you would look at them and say, why would I want to take Deshaun Watson? Because he doesn't have the offensive line that the Saints have available for Drew Brees.
Do you think that I am arguing that the offensive line is important? That's my argument? No. Listen carefully. It's the 3rd time I've said it. Instead of rolling your eyes, listen to the points. The offensive line
to your point. You don't make them. That's the problem.
The offensive line is a part of a football team that frequently, when you bring in new pieces, does not gel right away. It takes time together. So I do not expect this line to be as porous late as it was early, particularly when
what they saw last year?
Deshaun Watson's blindside help is one of the best in the league. They don't know how to play together yet. They will figure that out by the end of the year, giving Watson better protection by then.
All right.
And the 11-win Deshaun Watson from last year will improve this year.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.